Welcome students. In this video, we are going to discuss Module 2 of Chapter 8, that is How Seasons Occur Part 2 in Geography. Myself, Rebecca DeMonte. In this video, we are going to discuss the following topics: solstice, polar regions, and the cycle of seasons and the living world. Let us first quickly recall what we discussed in Module 1 of this chapter. First, we saw what is apparent movement of the Sun. The movement of the Sun towards the north or south in a year is called the apparent movement of the Sun. Then we discussed the perihelion and aphelion positions of the Earth. Perihelion position is the minimum distance of Earth from Sun, and aphelion position is the maximum distance of Earth from Sun. Lastly, we discussed equinox. As the Earth revolves around the Sun, the equator receives perpendicular rays on 2 days. On these days, both the poles are at the same distance from the Sun. This condition occurs on 21st March and 23rd September and is known as equinox. There are two types of equinox: spring or vernal equinox and autumnal equinox. Solstice. Solstice days are the days when the Earth's tilt towards the Sun is at its maximum. On 21st June, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the Sun and the Tropic of Cancer starts receiving perpendicular rays of the Sun. This is also known as summer solstice. On 22nd December, the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the Sun and the Tropic of Capricorn starts receiving perpendicular rays of the Sun, which is also known as winter solstice. These 2 days are called solstice days. 21st June is the longest day and it marks the shortest night in the northern hemisphere. And 22nd December marks the longest day and the shortest night in the southern hemisphere. Students, now let us discuss the following question from your textbook based on figure 8.4. So the first question is, in figure A, which pole is receiving sunlight? In figure A, North Pole is receiving sunlight. In figure B, which pole is not receiving sunlight? Here, North Pole is not receiving sunlight in figure B. Next question, which hemisphere has the longest daytime on 21st June? Northern hemisphere has the longest daytime on 21st June. Which hemisphere will have the longest night on 22nd December? Here also, northern hemisphere will have the largest or the longest night on 22nd December. Next question, on which date will the Tropic of Cancer receive perpendicular rays? So the Tropic of Cancer will receive perpendicular rays on 21st June. Next, considering the position of the North Pole, which season will prevail in the Northern Hemisphere from 22nd March to 23rd September? Your summer season will prevail in the Northern Hemisphere from 22nd March to 23rd September. Next, the cricket matches in Australia are generally in summer. When does Australia have summer? Summer season prevails in Australia from 23rd September to 21st March. Next, in which period is the midnight sun observable in Norway? Which season will there be at that time? Midnight sun is observable in Norway from 21st March to 23rd September. It will be summer in Norway at that time. Next, at what time will the midnight sun be visible at the Bharti Research Station of India at Antarctica? What will be the season there at that time? The midnight sun will be visible at Bharti Research Station of India at Antarctica from 23rd September to 21st March. It will be summer season there. Now let us discuss the polar regions, which are Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle. At the North Pole, that is Arctic Circle, the sun is visible in the sky from 22nd March to 23rd September for 6 months. At the South Pole, Antarctic Circle, the sun is not visible in the sky from 22nd March to 23rd September for 6 months. So here, from 22nd March to 23rd September, in the Arctic Circle, it will be always daytime, and in the Antarctic Circle, during this period, it will be only night time for 6 months. So during this period, Arctic Circle will only experience daytime and Antarctic Circle will only experience nighttime. At the South Pole, that is Antarctic Circle, the sun is visible in the sky from 23rd September to 21st March, that is for 6 months. At the North Pole, Arctic Circle, the sun is not visible in the sky from 23rd September to 21st March for 6 months. That means from 23rd September to 21st March, the Antarctic Circle, that is South Pole, will only experience daytime, and the Arctic Circle, that is the North Pole, will only experience nighttime during this period. Seasons have been decided on the basis of the duration of sunlight, equinoxes, and solstices. The equatorial region does not experience any change of season. Hence, the climate in that region does not change at all in the year. In places beyond the equatorial region in either hemispheres, summers or winters are experienced one after the other within a year. The occurrence of seasons one after the other in a year leads to the cycle of seasons. Generally, there are 2 seasons, summer and winter, on the earth. However, in some places, seasons are taken to be 4 in all. Due to the local conditions, seasons other than summer and winter are seen to occur in different parts. For example, rains occur in India in a specific period. Therefore, India experiences 4 seasons: summer, rainy, retreating monsoon, and winter. Europe and North America also experience 4 seasons: summer, autumn, winter, and spring season. Now let us see how cycle of season affects the living world. If the Earth's axis were not tilted, the same climatic conditions would have prevailed throughout year. The seasons would not have occurred. It is the tilt of the axis that leads to occurrence of seasons, change and diversity on the earth. The living world on the earth is affected by the cycle of seasons. For example, in the region between 66° 30 minutes and 90° in both the hemisphere, even the mild sunlight available for a part of the year gives rise to certain flora and fauna. In the Antarctic region, that is the southernmost part of the earth, we find birds like penguins, fish like seal, and animals like walruses. In the polar region of the northern hemisphere, that is Antarctic region, animals like reindeer, polar bears, Arctic fox, etc. are found. People living in this region too have adapted to the natural conditions prevailing in that region. These are the people living in Antarctic region and Arctic region. Migration of birds and animals. Our adaptation to climatic conditions is possible only up to a certain limit. That is why organisms prefer a certain habitat. During extreme cold climatic conditions, when the food supply becomes scarce or insufficient, a number of birds and animals migrate temporarily. Animal migration is the relatively long distance movement of individual animals, usually on a seasonal basis. It is the most common form of migration in ecology. It is found in all major animal groups including birds, mammals, fish, reptiles, amphibians, and insects. The trigger for the migration may be local climate, local availability of food, the season of the year, or for mating reasons. To be counted as a true migration and not just a local dispersal or eruption, the movement of the animals should be an annual or seasonal occurrence, such as northern hemisphere birds migrating south for the winter, while beasts migrating annually for seasonal grazing or a major habitat change as part of their life, such as young Atlantic salmon or sea lamprey leaving the river of their birth when they have reached a few inches of size. There are two migratory birds that are given in your textbook, which are Arctic tern and Siberian crane. First, let us see Arctic tern. Once the winter at the North Pole becomes severe, this bird travels southwards. When it is summer in the northern hemisphere, it flies back towards the North Pole. It has to travel in search of food. In the course of 1 year, it travels around 70,000 kilometers. It might be the only species in the world that experiences summer twice in a year. The next is Siberian crane. Due to severe winter and lack of food, cranes from the cold northern regions visit India traveling around 8 to 10,000 kilometers. Once summer starts in India, they migrate back to the north. Approximately 1,800 of the world's 10,000 bird species migrate long distance each year in response to the seasons. Many of these migrations are north-south, with species feeding and breeding in high northern latitudes in the summer and moving some hundreds of kilometers south for the winter. Some species extend this strategy to migrate annually between the northern and southern hemispheres. The Arctic tern is famous for its migration. Students, now let us have a quick recap of what we discussed today. Firstly, we saw what is solstice. On 21st June, the sun rays become perpendicular on the Tropic of Cancer, also known as summer solstice. On 22nd December, the sun rays become perpendicular on the Tropic of Capricorn, that is winter solstice. These 2 days are called solstice days. 21st June is the longest day and it marks the shortest night in the northern hemisphere. And 22nd December marks the longest day and the shortest night in the southern hemisphere. Then we discussed polar regions, which are Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle. At the North Pole, that is Arctic Circle, the sun is visible in the sky from 22nd March to 23rd September for 6 months. At the South Pole, that is Antarctic Circle, the sun is not visible in the sky from 22nd March to 23rd September, that is for 6 months. At the South Pole, Antarctic Circle, the sun is visible in the sky from 23rd September to 21st March, that is for 6 months. At the North Pole, Arctic Circle, the sun is not visible in the sky from 23rd September to 21st March for 6 months. Then we discussed the cycle of season and how it affects the living world. If the Earth's axis were not tilted, the seasons would not have occurred. It is the tilt of the axis that leads to occurrence of seasons, change and diversity on the Earth. The living world on the Earth is affected by the cycle of seasons. Then we saw why birds and animals migrate. During extreme cold climatic conditions, when the food supply becomes scarce or insufficient, a number of birds and animals migrate. Thank you, students. I hope you all enjoyed the video.